everybody, welcome to Harmon Garage. I'm Aaron, and it is a beautiful day here in sunny Alabama, and we're ready to get to work. So Pops is still here, he's doing his thing. We took some time, got the shop fairly well cleaned up, still a little messy, but I'm a lot happier with it. And we just got to buckle down and keep going on evergreen. So as you can see here, I got new rocker panels, I got new cap corners, and that's what we're going to get started on today. I think I'm going to do the driver's side first. It's in rough shape, but we'll have to put the panel in, and then we'll do whatever patching we have to do for the floor, and then we'll come back and we're not gonna put this full patch panel for the cab corner in. We're gonna put it up there and mark off where this one's rusty. So we'll probably do it, oh, that was close, down here somewhere, just to replace the part that's rusted out and missing. So I don't like grinding and cutting and welding inside. It's kind of windy outside, so we'll do the best that we can to not have all the wind noise and crap in the video. But in the meantime, I'm going to pull that door off, because having the door off and out of the way will make doing that a lot easier. So we'll get that door off, I'll bring you guys back, and we'll start working on getting that old rocker panel off. All right, first thing we're gonna do, try to get what's left of this old sill plate out of here. We'll probably have to cut that off. There's some Bondo down here. I'm hoping I can do this rocker panel without taking the fender off. I really don't want to. I think this is the driver's side, left hand, yeah, so. Good. Just kind of setting this up here, getting a rough guesstimate of where I need to clear it out. So I think what I'm going to do, this is all solid, so I think I might cut it down here and come up across here, and then back here will come all the way up here, go down here, and then we'll have to see if any of that inner rocker is salvageable, or if we're just going to have to make a new one. I guess what we'll do is go get our cutoff wheel and Probably get that seat belt out of the way, and then we'll get started trimming and see how things go. All right, well, I've never done a rocker panel on a 69 to 72 truck before. I've done rocker panels, but never on a 69 to 72. So I'm kind of taking my time and figuring it out as I go. And I'm not saying the inner rocker is perfect under here, but there's still enough of it there that I can use some seam sealer and it'll be okay. It'll be fine. So I'm gonna go along this pinch weld down here. I got a wire brush here on my drill. I'm gonna try to clean this down so I can see where the pinch welds are. And then we'll go through with a drill and drill them out before we cut this, and then we'll cut this. And when we peel our outer rocker off of the inner rocker, then I'll clean that up, and then when we set our new rocker on, we'll be able to go from the back side and weld it back in place. Okay, I got that cleaned up, and you can see, I don't know if you guys can see, but I can, but there's a spot weld there, spot weld there, spot weld there, spot weld there, spot weld there. You get the picture. I don't have to keep saying it. Bam, 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 about every inch all the way down. So now I'm gonna come back with a drill bit and try to drill through these, and I'll probably take a screwdriver as I go and try to separate it, make sure we get this all separated from the inner rocker that goes back into this cab corner also. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the drill, start drilling those out. It'll probably take a little while. Okay, I got it drilled and separated to about right here, and I had a wild brain fart, and I figured it would be probably easier if I cut the rest of the rocker out, and then I wouldn't be hiding this down here where I need a drill, wouldn't be hiding behind all this other stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the rocker off and leave the pinch weld there, and then we'll come back and get the pinch weld out afterwards. Alright, well, I pretty much got the rocker off except for this pinch weld down here. But the more I look at this inner and the fact that I gotta patch this floor, and the more I think about it, I think I'm gonna try to make a new piece, a new inner. So I might go ahead there's bolts back here I can take out, but I think that's the whole floor where this bolts onto the floor with this brace and whatnot. I don't want to take all that off. Same thing up here. So I think I might cut it in front of this and behind here, and where I got some good metal that I can weld back into. So I think that's what we're gonna do. I'll go ahead and cut this right here, and that should get me off over here. I'll cut this right down over here, and then I'll have a template, and I'll have good metal to weld back to after I clean it up back here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that buzzed off, and then figure out what I'm gonna do about putting some floor back in this thing. I got a piece of metal here, brand new, never used before, so we'll know it's good to put on here. So what I'm going to do, I got my piece that I cut out. I'm just going to take it, and I guess I grabbed the worst marker I have in my bucket in there. But anyways, we're going to mark this out. Alright, got that marked there. And now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut this straight across over here and down. I'm not going to cut the top because we're going to roll the top in, because we have to make it roll in and then come back up, and then it's going to tie into the floor. So we'll get this piece out at least, and then we'll have our flat that we can go in there with, and then we'll tie it into the floor, and then we'll bring our new rocker over there and start getting it fitted. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cut out, and we'll just keep going and see what happens. Okay, bring this over here, put this in here and see how we did. This, I don't really know what the shape of the floor right here is supposed to be, and I don't have anything to go off of. Like, it's flat and bends up there, it's curled down here. I just don't know. So, I know this piece has to be straight in here. So, I think what I'm going to do is measure up the height to where a bend would be, and I'll just cut it across. Then we'll get that piece welded back in, and then somehow or another I'm going to get the floor tied back together if I can figure out how it's supposed to go.
Doesn't wrap around there like that little bend there, does it?
Yeah, I think it comes up, goes in there. But up here it's like
Chrome piece.
Alright guys, I'm going to kind of see what we got going on here, and then we'll, when I figure it out, I'll bring you back and show you. Okay, so I kind of just figured out that the inner fender, at least, or the inner rocker, at least how I'm going to do it, is just a flat piece, and there's a lip on top and a lip on the bottom that are pinch welds, where this outer rocker spot welds to the inner. So I got this piece cut out to where it fits in here like it should, or it did. Yeah, there we go. So it fits in there. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back and I'm going to clean up this truck side, and I'm going to clean this up, and then we're going to weld this back in here, and then we'll take a good look at it. And I need to make like a roll 90 to go in there, and then once we do that, then we'll patch up our floor, and then once all that is done, then we can put our outer rocker back on. So I'm going to clean this up to where I can weld on it, and just keep going. Alright, I've been working with this. I had to do some kind of massaging on this to get it to sit in there right. So now what I need to do is go along the pinch seam on the top, go along the pinch seam on the top, go along the pinch seam on the bottom, and then like in here, that's going to spot weld into the old cab. So I need to drill holes in that and get that to where it's how it needs to be. So we're just going to drill holes in it so we got some more to spot weld. Right after we go get a drill bit that's not going to break off. Come on. Alright, I went ahead and got this all drilled, cleaned up everywhere that I needed it, so we can go ahead and get it put in here, go from there. So you grab me a hammer, please.
What size?
Huh?
What size?
Just a hammer. One of the ones we had out here yesterday's fine.
Thank you. All right. Okay, I'm gonna get this tacked in place here.
and just in a couple spots where I know it's where it needs to be.
What
And then
number?
we'll move it around a little bit and see what we need to do. well, I'm not saying I was slow or anything, but that rocker just took me longer than I thought it was going to, and I don't know if I did it in good time or not. But either way, rocker's back in. Everything is patched up, welded up, spot welded, top, bottom, across the back. I filled in all the shouldn't have done that I did up there in the front, and looks pretty good. So next thing I'm gonna do is the cab corner. We ordered those also, and they give you like a quarter of the cab. So I'm not gonna put this whole piece in. I'm just gonna put in what we need. And there's a dent. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but there's a dent in the cab back here. And so, and then it's obviously rusted out down here. So what I'm thinking I want to do is follow my line from the top of the rocker and just go around and all the way out, because yeah, that will put us above the dent. Now if I didn't care about the dent, I could literally just do like from here to here and handle the rust. But if we're gonna go this far, we might as well try to fix the dent too. So this time I'm going to cut the cab and take the piece off, and then try to put it on the new piece or in the new piece or something and trace it so I can have it about exact, because I didn't do a very good job cutting the front of the rocker there, and it ended up turning out okay, but I had to do a lot of filling and patching and welding to get it right, where in the back here I did it right and it's fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a cutoff wheel out here. It's probably gonna take a cutoff wheel and sorry, I'm looking while I'm talking. A cutoff wheel, piece of tape, Sawzall maybe to get in the corner. I don't want to take the bed off, so I'm gonna try to work around the bed. But anyways, we'll figure it out and we'll start cutting. All right, so I might have changed my mind. In order to come all the way up here, that's going to put us above this cutout. I don't really want to do that. So I think what I'm going to do is, it's not rusty around that dent. It's just a dent. So I think I'm just going to take, you can see I ground this down. I wanted to see where we had good metal and where we had filler and whatever, so I know already. But I'm going to just come in here and clean metal, go around the corner, and then you guys can't see it. I'll show you in a little bit, but just a couple inches back into this over here is where the rust is gone and it's clean. So I just want to that did not work at all. No idea who that was, but apparently one of the log truck drivers knows me. If it was one of you guys that watch the channel, thank you. Nice to see you. Alright, let's see what kind of damage we can do without cutting up our new rocker, or cutting up our bed that's not new, but decent. Alright, there it is. There's our rotted out chunk, and I still got to clean up down here, and there's some more of this inner that kind of ate up, but it's gonna be okay. I promise you it's gonna be okay. So now what we'll do is take this, and it's not going to be perfect, but it will at least get us close. Most likely a little bit oversized, and then I can just kind of grind it down and trim it down and sand it down as needed. Till it fits. That's the plan anyways. That's what we want to do. So I'm going to cut this for you guys so you can see it, and then I'm going to spare you the time of sitting here watching me clean all this up and getting it prepped to put in there. Spare you guys the time of prepping all that to put this up in there, and we'll get her prepped, and we'll kind of set this cab corner in there, see what she look like, see how she do, see what she wants, you know, all that stuff. Alright. Nice thing about that was we paid like $25 for this piece right here, and now we've got a bunch of pre-bent scrap metal. So that's nice, right? This should not gonna fit because I still gotta clean everything up, but should go right in there. Weld it in, and we'll have a new cab corner with no rust. So I'm gonna get everything cleaned up. I gotta take, there's still old cap corner on this pinch weld here. Still old cap corner I gotta take off over here. I gotta clean it all up, so but we'll get that done. I'll bring you guys back and we'll put it back in. Alright, well, as you can see, I got this all cleaned up. And I got my section of cap corner tacked in. I got a spot weld here, 2 spot welds down on the pinch seam, and I got a tack or 2 back here. And as you can tell, I left some area open there because when dirt and stuff falls down behind the seat, it goes down in this corner and that's what rots it out. So if you just leave a big gaping hole in your cap corner, then the wind can get in there and it blows all that stuff out, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. So you just, you know, by the time I get some paint on it and stuff, you'll never even see that hole there. You'll never notice it. So it's fine. No, not really. I found out after the fact, when it was already too late, that the bottom of the panels are made different. So when I took the other panel and lined it up on this panel and cut it out, it did not fit. So now I have a gap. So I've already made a little template. You guys probably can't see this, but I already marked this. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it out, and we're gonna have to patch a piece in, kind of like we did up there on the rocker, and I said that I was gonna be careful so that I didn't have to do it again. So here we go, doing it again. Alright, well, yesterday I didn't have a whole lot of time in on this because there was a infestation of squirrels in the morning, and then once I finally, you know, practiced my karate moves and all that and fended them off, finally got on this. I basically just got the old stuff cut out. I got that inner rocker made, and I started trimming on the rocker to get it fitted somewhat. So today I put in a pretty full dang day, and I already showed you the rocker is done. Inner rocker's done, and I got all our patch panels in because I'm terrible at what I'm doing, and not all our patch panels, but all our filler pieces in. And I've got this cab corner completely welded in, so it's ready for grinding and maybe a little bit of filler. The rocker is ready for grinding and hopefully some high fill primer and some green paint. I went and got out my new sill plates that I ordered for this because I was trying to figure out how to do the floor. And if you guys are familiar with it, there's like a drainage ditch that's usually in there that drops down from the floor. It comes down from the floor, drops down, goes over to the inner rocker, and sometimes back up into the pinch weld. But I don't have the tools really to recreate that without doing everything by hand, which is time consuming. And that usually the reason this is all rotted out is because all the mud and dirt and everything gets down in that channel. and rots it out. So I grabbed our door sill plate and set it in here, and one type of good news, it fits, so that's a positive. The other thing is, it goes in there and it just lays over the top, so it goes over that channel anyways, and then just has the screws that hold it in, obviously. So what I'm looking at is, I don't have to have that channel down along here. I just have to have our pinch seam for our door seal to go on. So what I'm gonna do, like right here, I got pretty good metal, but right here I don't. I'm probably gonna take this here, cut it back, cut it across here, and come here, and I'll make one piece to fill in there. But I'm just gonna go from here and kind of go gradual down to the inside, but right about here. So the bottom of the pinch seam, and just gradually come down, and I'll get underneath, or I might be able to do it from the top, I don't know, but get weld in there. And then I'll make a piece, because I'm gonna have to come up into this to get good metal. So I'll make another piece that goes here, and then I'll do a piece for the front that goes onto this cab brace and all that. I'll show you guys everything that I'm doing, but that's my plan. We'll get that reboxed in, and after I get the floor fixed right there, the driver's side will be done. There was a spot on the kick panel. Hopefully you guys can see that. Probably not, but spot on the kick panel that had a big hole at the bottom. We got it patched in, and I patched another spot there on the floor. I didn't bother cutting it out and making it all level, because it's going to get covered with carpet and you're never going to see it anyways. So we'll seam seal that and get it put in there. And the only other thing on the driver's side of the cab that needs any kind of metal work is we got to fill in where our gas filler used to be. As you can see, I took a wizard wheel and just barely cleaned around here, and I want to go and slow weld so that heat doesn't get in and burn any of this paint, because I want to keep as much of the patina as possible. I'm going to try to patina match the rockers and the cab corners the best that I can, and so on and so forth, like we've already talked about. So I'm going to go get a piece of paper, and we're going to trace out that filler hole, and I want to try to get that at least tacked in place today. And because I don't think I'm going to weld it today, because I'm already running out of time before I need to go home. But at least get it cut out and get it tacked in place, and we'll have a good start heading into tomorrow. All right, so there's a lip in here where it's rolled in. So I could put the cardboard behind it and trace it, but the lip is slightly smaller than the outside, and I don't know that it'll fit really well. So I got nice dirty hands here. So what we're gonna do is just go like this. And there it is. Not perfect, but pretty good. That's why we do it out of cardboard first, because we cut it out and hold it in there, and it's not what we wanted. Then we make another one. Cheaper. Cardboard's only 99 cents at the dollar store. Actually, I don't even think it's that much. I think it's only 50 cents. marker laying right there. Thank you. All right, I'm not happy with that one, so we're gonna try it again. All right, like I said, that's why we do it on cardboard first, because if I'd have done it on metal, then we'd have wasted a piece of metal. Metal's expensive. You guys see me? Yeah, you can see me. This time we're gonna do what I said I didn't want to do. Why? Because why not? Now, usually when you trace something like this, you cut the inside of the line because you know what I mean. This time I'm going to cut the outside because I want it to be a little bit bigger than what we actually traced, because I need it to be a little bit bigger to fill the hole. So. Okay. Now, that fits a lot better. All right, got a piece of metal here, new, never used before. We're going to trace this on here. You guys probably can't see me now because I got the camera up here. But I'm gonna trace this on here. Now I'll go cut it out. Okay, got my piece cut out. As you can tell, this isn't flat, it's rounded. I put a little bit of a curve on my piece. I don't know that it's going to be enough, but it'll get me started at least to where I can kind of massage it in place here. So. And somehow, some way, I don't know, but this doesn't fit like I want it to. So I've had a pretty good day today, and I think I'm going to end it on that note. So we'll come over in the morning, try to fine tune that a little bit, get it to fit a little bit better. Then we'll get it welded in and we'll go on to the floors and keep on going. All right, since we kind of already got started on this, the last time we were working on it, I went ahead and got it all fine-tuned, and so it fits in there pretty good. I'm gonna have to like kind of weld and tap it and stuff to get the exact, but it's pretty darn close. So I'm gonna drag the welder out here. I'll set the camera up, and I'll give you guys a little how-to, I guess you'd call it, on how I'm gonna weld that so I don't burn all that paint away, and so we don't warp that metal or nothing. So here we go. Okay, so this isn't just gonna be a quick zap together weld, because I don't want to burn this paint off. I want to keep that patina and that look, and I don't want to distort everything here because I put too much heat in it. So I'm sure you can hear like the fan noise of the welder. Sorry, there's not a lot I can do about it. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start out like, you know, just knock it out of the place that I had it in that was perfect. I'm gonna put a little tack on it. And get that side where I want it. Put a little tack on it, and as I get tacks on it, I'm going to come back with the air and quickly cool the weld off. Alright, you guys get the gist of what I'm doing here. Now I got it all tacked in. I got a little bit of a high spot right there. It's going to come out fine. So, compressor's running in the background, it's loud. And it's going to take me a while to do this. I'm just going to be sitting here tacking and blowing and tacking and blowing and tacking and blowing. So I'll bring you guys back once I'm all done tacking and blowing. Okay, as you can see, I got it all welded up. I took my time, went really slow with it, so we didn't do anything. As you can see, the paint didn't really get messed up around it. I haven't decided if I want to try to blend in some Fotina or just kind of leave it and let it rust. But either way, I need to grind the weld smooth and try to get it smooth. I know I definitely don't want to put any body filler on it, because if I put body filler on it, then it's going to cover everything up and you'll see it. So got 80 grit on my little wizard wheel. Once again, don't want to get into the paint, don't want to create a lot of heat, so we're going to kind of go slow, take our time, and try to smooth this out. The key to doing this too is you don't ever want to get on the edge of your blade. You'll probably see me do it because I'm terrible about it. But you don't ever want to get up on the edge of your blade. You want to hold it flat. And if we keep the circumference of our grinding disc inside the circumference of our paint, we shouldn't get into our paint. And just keep moving. You don't have to sit there and work one spot all the way down until it's smooth and then move over. That's how you get heat in your stuff. Just keep moving around, kind of go all the way around, take a little break, go all the way around, take a little break. You get the picture. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, I got that all ground down. welds all ground back down as far as we're going to go with them. With the little wizard wheel. Now I got some 80 grit on my DA. I just want to go back and kind of smooth it out, and I might even feather it into the green paint just a little bit because I've already decided I'm just going to leave it so it's surface rust. So you'll be able to tell there was a repair done there, but that's okay. Alright, that's going to do it for that. There's a couple little pinholes in there. I could go back and weld those up and regrind everything down and all that, but I can also go on the back side and put some seam sealer in there, and that'll just help add to the patina. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to seal it from the inside. Is this absolutely like perfect? Could take a coat of paint? Absolutely not, but it's in really good shape. It's pretty straight, smooth, and everything for a patch. I mean, you wouldn't have to put any filler on there. You could glaze it and it would be ready for paint. So I'm happy with it. Next thing we're gonna do, get over here, get back down on the ground, and start working on our floors. I really need to get the floors done on this side today, and there's one more thing that I want to do, and then tomorrow I can just buzz through the passenger side. Hopefully. I got to do the rocker, cab corner, and floor over there also, but we'll see. I'm going to get my stuff together and start getting ready to do this floor patch, and then we'll get it done. Okay, I'm going to take some precise measurements for exactly where I want this floor patch to be. Okay, got that done. Now I'm going to go ahead and come on. Go ahead and trim it out. Alright. Now, why I'm thinking about it, before anybody rushes to the comments to tell me I'm doing this wrong, I've already mentioned that there's supposed to be a channel up here in this deal that catches stuff, and that's why the floor's rotted out here. And I think I've already told you that I'm not putting that back in. I'm gonna come in here where I need to go. I'm gonna go to the inside, to the bottom of our pinch seam, so we can put our door seal on there that we don't have, so might not even get one. But anyways, and I'm just gonna tie that in. Now, if we were doing like a full-on restoration, I'd get a whole new floor pan, I'd get a whole new inner rocker, I'd have a whole new outer rocker. Everything would be replaced and everything would be perfect. But since we're building a patina work truck, we're patching in the floors. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even have to do this. Like, I could have just put the carpet on it and made sure there was enough there. The holes are still there where the sill plate screwed to. I could have just thrown the carpet on there and covered it up, but I want it to be filled in and solid. I just don't need it to be 100% looking perfect. So just a short little explanation, and finish cutting this open. Got that trimmed out. So now I just need to go find some metal. Hopefully I even have enough laying around here. And we're just going to patch in from here out to here. All the way front to back and back to front. So when we go see what I got for metal, we'll start getting this figured out and start putting our patches in. Alright. Found a piece of metal laying around. Measured the length front to back, cut it where I needed it. Now what I'm going to do is stick this up in here like so. And we're going to roughly, and by roughly I mean roughly, trace this out. And there's our basic shape of what we need. I'm going to go ahead and trim this out the best that I can with the cutoff wheel. And then we'll come back and clean up some of this. And see if we can't start getting her tacked in. I'm not going to solid weld this in place. I'm going to put, you know, good stitch welds on there to make sure that we have the rigidity and the structure, which both floor braces are still there. That's still really solid. This is basically just to keep mud and water and stuff out. But we'll put enough weld on there to make sure it's nice and solid, and then we're just going to seam seal it all the way along here, and we'll seam seal over where our seam is, and we'll do the same thing on the other patches that I've done. And like I said, so I'm going to get this cut out, and we'll get back and show you what we got. Alright, I should have everything pretty well cleaned off enough that I can do something with it. So start tacking her in place and see how it goes. See how it goes. So far, not so good. All right. I'm not so worried about getting heat and warping and stuff on this because it really doesn't matter. So I'm just getting it welded in and seeing how it goes here. Apparently making patch panels is not my forte. We did pretty good along here. Around here is not bad. I can get that taken care of, and along here's good, and that'll go where we need it to go and tack in there. But back here, up here, not so much. So we'll weld up what we got and see where it goes from there, I guess. All right, the front is okay. Right in here I got to make a little piece to fill in, and I got to make a little piece right here for the back. And then once I get it all solid to the floor, then I think I'm just going to go underneath and tack this like it is, because I got enough room to get my seal in there, so should be good. And then I can seam seal everything and should be alright. So little patch here, little patch back here, tack it in here. I got to make a plate to cover. I'm just going to put it on top like I did the little one up there, but to make a plate to cover that, and our floor patches will be done. So I'm going to knock that out, and I'll show you guys what it looks like when we're done. Alright, well, I got the floor all tied up. Pops stopped by, check on me and see how I was doing, and we roughly hung the door back on I gotta take the door panel off and like get inside with some nuts because it's messed up. But our gap at the back of the door is good on our cab corner, and if we adjust the door so that the back of the door comes up, we'll have a good gap on our panel, which you can see right here. We're about a 1/4 inch low on our body line where we're not in the front. We got a good gap in the front. So we get and we got a big gap right here. So we need the top of the door to come forward, which will bring the back of the door up. You can see there's a gap all the way around. So we just got to get that door.
You gotta retap the holes.
Yeah, we just got to, the holes the bolts go into are messed up, so we just got to fix those. But other than that, turned out pretty good. I got my floor patch in up there, turned out pretty good. Got that all tied in, got my little patch back here all done, got it welded to the rocker. Now all I need to do is seam seal it, grind it. Probably should have ground up here before I put the door back on, but there's a good chance we'll have to take it back off to fix the holes in the door that the bolts go into. But from the outside, you can't see where I welded it or nothing other than the cab corner, and it looks great. So pretty happy with it. Like I said, Pops came over for a minute. We're gonna move the truck to a better position to work on the other side, and I'm not gonna film doing the other side because I'm gonna do the same thing to it that I did to this side. I'm just gonna try to hammer through it and get it done so I can show it to you finished before the end of this video. And then as soon as we get done moving the truck, I'm gonna make some modifications to the tranny tunnel, because I definitely want that in the video, because after the tranny tunnel's done and I do the rocker and the cab corner on the other side, all the metal work that we have to do on the cab is done. And that was my plan for this video. So Pops is waiting for me. I'm gonna get the truck moved, then we'll get the tranny tunnel figured out. All right, so I mentioned that I had to fix the trans tunnel, doghouse, whatever. And the reasoning for that is my shifter on my 5-speed is further back than the SM465 was. So I've got to move the hole back to accommodate for it. Now, I've already kind of measured off where I need it to be, and so trying my best to get a perfect rectangle here, because what my intention is now is to come through and cut this out and then turn it around, put it back in the same spot and weld it back together. That's the plan. Is that going to work? To be determined. But I'm going to go ahead and cut it. We'll get it turned around. We'll get it tacked in place, and then we will put it in the truck and see if the hole's where it needs to be. And if it is, then we'll go ahead and weld it and finish it. And if it's not, then we'll do it 2 or 3 more times like usual. No big deal. Okay. Now, how's it gonna fit? It's not. So much for, we can make it work. So much for having it perfect, right? So now we'll get this cleaned up, or we can get it ground to weld. Okay, got it all tacked up, and I just threw my welding helmet across the floor. That's always good for it. I'm gonna get you guys set up where you can see, maybe, and then I'll put this thing back in and see if it allows us access to our shifter. All right, here we go. It was warped before, so not all of that warpage is due to me cutting it and welding on it, but it lays down in there good. And I don't think that's back far enough. I guess there's one way to find out. Because the style of shifter that this transmission takes stands up tall. So yeah, that's gonna, it's all the way at the back of our opening, but it's gonna give us what we need. So guess I should have gone back further. I had a line back here, which would have been a lot closer. And I can still do that. I can still move it back and then just move the strip from the back up to the front, because like I said, if we don't do it 3 times, we ain't doing it right. And I hate to not do stuff right, and I don't want it to be all the way at the back. So we're gonna cut another strip out of here, cut this back free, move it back, tack it back in place, tack our front piece back in, and then I'll come back and fit it again and show you guys what it looks like, and hopefully it'll be better next time. Okay, I got my little modification made. The shifter fits in there more to my liking. I'm happy with it. It's good enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and weld this up. And it's going to be a slow process, because we're going to weld it like we welded the gas filler thing over there. So a little bit of weld, a little bit of air, a little bit of weld, a little bit of air. I don't really need to, because I might not. Maybe I'll just weld it, because it's all bolted. I got it all bolted in place. So if it gets a little bit of warp into it, it's not going to matter. And you're not going to see it, because it's all going to be under the carpet. So I'm debating whether I want to fully weld it up or just put a bunch of tacks on it and seam seal it like I'm doing with the floor patches. So I guess when I get done with it and give you guys an update, you'll find out what I did, and by then I'll know. All right, well, we got some good news and some really, really bad news. So good news is I got the old rocker cut out on this side. I got the new one fitted and tacked in place, and looking pretty dang good. Now the bad news is a 2-part special. Part 1 is I stopped working on this rocker and didn't finish it before I showed it to you guys, because my welder just quit on me. Like, it's been giving me fits for like 2 years, and I can't afford to buy a new one, so I've just been working through it and working through it and working through it. Well, there's no working through it this time. I've tried everything. It's done. Feeder doesn't feed anymore. She's over. So I'll have to figure out what I'm gonna do there, but we got the rocker put in place, got it tacked in. I was able to get this done yesterday. I showed you guys that when I was working on it, but I got it all thoroughly tacked in. And that leads to part 2 of the not so good news. So I was thinking about it over lunch today, and I was talking to Pops about it, and we're not gonna take Evergreen to the truck gathering. I'm not gonna take Evergreen to the truck gathering. And that doesn't mean that I'm not going to the truck gathering anymore, because I will definitely be there. But we're gonna take old Rusty but trusty. Old RJ over there is gonna take us there. So I made this decision before the welder quit, but I really like this truck, Evergreen. I really like the way it's coming out, and I'm catching myself rushing, and I don't want to rush it. I rushed Rum Runner last year, and we all see how that turned out. So we're not gonna do that again. So show's coming up in like 2 weeks. We're gonna take RJ to the show, and I'm gonna try to get this rocker and floor and stuff finished over here. Maybe I can borrow somebody's welder or something just to finish it. And then I'm gonna put the door on it, and we're gonna roll it off to the side. Not for a long time, maybe 2 or 3 days. And I just wanna relax and work on something else. So that's what we're gonna do. That's the decision I made. If that hurts anybody's feelings, I apologize. But it hurts my feelings too, because I don't like to accept defeat. But I didn't really accept defeat because I could keep pushing, and I know that I could work every waking hour and get this truck done to take to that show. But that's time away from my family. That's me wearing myself down to the point that I, have accidents because I am too worn out to be doing what I'm doing. And there's just no point in it. There's a bunch more stuff that I still haven't bought the wood for the bed floor. I still haven't bought the controller for the electric fans. There's a list of stuff that I don't even have to finish the truck, and I don't really have the money to buy to finish the truck. So rather than forcing things, rather than cutting corners, rather than all those things, come to the truck gathering April 19th and 20th in Guthrie, Oklahoma, and see me, see RJ. I'll have merch there and everything else. But anyways, rockers kind of done, floor's patched over there, that cab corner's done, the tranny tunnel's done, the gas filler neck's all done. You guys have seen all that, and I really wanted to have this rocker done and this cab corner done to end this video, but not everything works out the way you want it to. So that's gonna do it for this video. If you guys are interested in some Harmon Garage merch and want to help out with the builds and whatnot, www.harmongarage.net, links in the description below. With that being said, Pops can't say bye because he's out there slaving away, and I'm gonna breathe for 5 minutes, then I'll get back to work on something else. So thank you guys so much for watching. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you next time.